Okay, real quick, look at your hand. Whatever skin color you have right now, your ancestors didn't always look like that. Every single human being alive today, every one of us started out black. Not figuratively, not as a metaphor, literally, generatively, and scientifically. And the story how that changed over 2 million years of evolution is one of the most insane things science ever discovered. Because it's got everything: migration, survival, sex, vitamin D, and one genetic mutation that basically rewired the look of the entire human race. Alright, let's go all the way back. 200 years ago, East Africa, the first anatomically modern humans are walking around, and every single one of them deeply, fully genetically black. We are talking rich, dark, melanin loaded skin, and that wasn't random, that was survival engineering. See, Africa sits right on the equator, and the equator gets absolutely cooked by UV radiation like dangerous levels. UV radiation destroys folic acid in your blood, and without folic acid, your DNA can't replicate properly. Your babies are born with defects, your entire bloodline starts dying out. Dark skins blocks UV. Melanin is literally a biological shield. The people with the darkest skin in Corner Africa, they survived, they reproduced their own. This is documented in peer-reviewed research going back decades. Genetics, evolutionary, biologists, anthropologists, they all landed on the same conclusion. Now here's where it gets wild. Around 70,000 years ago, humans started leaving Africa in small groups, probably just a few hundred people at a time, walking into unknown territory. They went north, into Middle East, into Europe, into Central Asia, up to Russia, across the landed bridge in North America, down into South America, thousands of miles, thousands of years, generation after generation, pushing further them into environments that Africa could never have prepared them for. And one of those environments, Northern Europe, where the sun basically disappeared for like 6 months of the year, and that right there is where everyone flips. Here is the problem nobody tells you about. When those humans left Africa and walked into Europe, they still had dark skin because that's what their bodies have been built for hundreds of thousand years. But now they were living somewhere cold, dark half the year, but with barely any UV radiation hitting them. And here is the brutal irony. The dark skin that saves them in Africa is now scaring them in Europe. Because your skin needs sunlight to produce vitamin D, and dark skin is too good at blocking UV. In a low sun environment, it blocks out so much light that your body can't make enough vitamin D. No vitamin D, your bones don't form right, pregnant women die in childbirth, your immune system collapses, you're basically falling apart from the inside. So what did evolution do? It adapted, it had to. Here's where it gets genuinely mind-blowing. Scientists have actually identified the specific gene responsible for lighter skin in European population. It's called SLC24A5. One single mutation, one tiny change, one gene, that's what shifted the skin of hundreds of millions of people. And here is the kicker. Researchers at Penn State published a study in 2005 that proved this mutation arose only about 6,000 to 12,000 years ago in Europe. That's nothing. That's basically yesterday in evolutionary time, and there's more. East Asian developed lighter skin too, but though a completely different gene mutation. Either a different biological path led to the same result. Evolution didn't care about race, it didn't care about beauty standards or colorism or any of that noise. It only cared about one thing: vitamin D. Survive, reproduced, pass it on. And here's the part that absolutely slaps. We have proof, real hard genetic proof. Scientists sequenced the genome of Cheddar Man, a 10,000 years of old skeleton born in England, a man who lived in what is now Britain. And when they ran his DNA, he had dark skin, dark curly hair, blue eyes. The first Briton looked nothing like what people picture when they think of British ancestry. And his genome showed he was genetically closest to the modern people in Spain and Luxembourg. This was published by a team from University College London and the National History Museum in 2018, peer-reviewed Real Science. And ancient DNA research across Europe shows that for most people of human story, people in Europe were still pretty dark-skinned. The full lighting, it happened shockingly recently. Alright, let's break down this how it actually works across the globe, because evolution basically wrote a rule book. Rule 1. The closer you are to the equator, the darker your skin, because you need that melanin shield against aggressive UV. Rule 2. The further you go from the equator towards the pole, the less UV hits you. So your body needs to more light in to make vitamin D. Skin gets lighter. The pattern is so consistent that anthropologists literally call it the skin color latitude rule. The darker the dragon, the darker the native population every single time. And here's what gets humbling. The Inuit, living at the very top of the world in the Arctic, they actually keep darker skin even in almost zero sun environments. Why? Because their diet is almost entirely seafood and whale blubber, absolutely loaded with vitamin D, so they didn't need to lighten. Okay, let's just say actually what this means. Because people need to hear it, race as a biological category is not real, full stop. The American Society Human Genetics published a statement on this. Genetics at Harvard, Stanford, MIT, they all agree. Skin color is one gene, one adaptation. It tells you where your ancestors lived and how much sunlight they got. That's it. There is more genetic variation between two random people from the same African village than there is between any European and any African on the planet. Let that actually hit you. We are one species, one lineage, one origin point, and skin color nothing but a receipt. Proof of where in the world your great-great-grandmother used to stand in the sun. Here's what nobody teaches you in school. Every person alive on this planet, no matter what they look like, is carrying a legacy in African DNA. Every single one, no exception. Your skin color isn't your identity. It's your itinerary, a travel log written in lanolin showing exactly which parts of this planet your ancestor passed through, survived in, and called home. The darkest skinned person you've ever seen and the lightest skinned person you've ever seen, they share a common ancestor, probably somewhere around 200,000 years ago, standing in East Africa, figuring out how to survive one more day. Think about that the next time someone tries to use your skin color to divide people, they're literally arguing about the sunscreen, fighting over melanin, a protein your body makes based on where your ancestors stored on a map. That's the whole story. 2 million years, one species, one sun, and a whole load of adaptation along the way. We are not that different from each other. We just took different roads to get here and ended up with different amounts of sunlight built into our skin.